Next on the news, the U.S. Secretary of State and the first American Pope sit down at the Vatican. What we know about their closed-door meeting. A new piece of art paints the Holy Father as an action hero.
What do Pope Leo XIV and the Terminator have in common? I'm Jessica Easthope with the artist behind this mural and that connection coming up.
The young leaders Bishop Robert Brennan says he can't stop talking about. He's praising their commitment to the Diocese of Brooklyn. Plus, the special surprise performance from the Swiss Guard Band for the first American Pope. I'm Christine Persichetti. Currents News starts right now. All eyes are on the Holy See as the U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio met with Pope Leo XIV. This after weeks of tension between the Pope and the President. The sit-down on May 7th was behind closed doors, but there's been plenty of talk about what the two leaders would discuss.
Secretary, it's good to see you. Good morning.
U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio arrived at the Vatican early Thursday morning for an audience with the first American Pope. According to the U.S. State Department, the two leaders discussed the situation in the Middle East and other topics of mutual interest during their closed-door meeting. It comes as Pope Leo XIV and President Donald Trump have had a war of words over the war in Iran. It all started with this lengthy Truth Social post by the commander-in-chief in which he called the Pope weak on crime and terrible for foreign policy. The Holy Father, who has continuously called for peace, was on his apostolic journey to Africa at the time and had this to say on the papal plane.
I have no fear, neither the Trump administration nor speaking out loudly about the message of the gospel. And that's what I believe. I am called to do what the church is called to do. We're not politicians. We're not looking to make foreign policies with the same perspective that we might understand it. But I do believe in the message of the gospel. Blessed are the peacemakers. It's the message of the world needs to hear.
The Pope would later deny any direct dispute with the president and insist he does not intend to engage in political debates. But a few days ago, President Trump criticized Pope Leo again, claiming the Holy Father would be fine with Iran having nuclear weapons, even if it meant putting Catholics at risk. The Secretary of State was asked about this.
I think what the president basically said is that Iran can't have a nuclear weapon because they would use it against places that have a lot of Catholics and Christians and others for that matter.
Pope Leo responded that the church has long spoken out against all nuclear weapons. Rubio, who is a practicing Catholic, spent about 45 minutes with the pontiff. He says this trip was planned before the comments between the president and the Pope, and there was a lot to talk about with the Holy See, including concerns about religious freedom around the world. Bishops across the country, including Bishop Robert Brennan, have been defending the first American Pope. The Brooklyn Shepherd even writing in his letter published to the tablet, the Holy Father speaks not as a politician, but as a pastor. In a new poll by the Washington Post and ABC News, most Americans also disapprove of the president's comments about Pope Leo. According to the poll, 2/3 of Americans, 66%, had a positive reaction to Pope Leo asking Americans to contact Congress to ask for peace. That number bumping up a bit higher when looking at American Catholics, which was 70%. At the same time, 57% had a negative reaction to Trump posting negatively about Pope Leo, claiming the pontiff is okay with nuclear weapons. Again, that number going up again among American Catholics to 61%. One local artist says he sees Pope Leo XIV as an action hero. And in his latest piece, Living on the Streets of Bushwick, he painted the first American Pope alongside a famous movie action hero in an effort to raise awareness about care of creation. Jessica Easthope tells us more.
On the corner of Flushing and Bogart in Bushwick, on the side of a little bakery, there are 3 pairs of eyes meant to penetrate your soul. It's the latest mural by Massimo Lobulio, also known as Delfinotto, on the side of his business, Bake Shop.
He's obviously shining with a gold cross, and it's very symbolic of something positive.
As people walk down the street, they're met by this unlikely trio. Pope Leo XIV, Arnold Schwarzenegger in his role as the Terminator, and his character's metal robotic endoskeleton.
It was really important to put Pope Leo at eye level.
To some, it might be random, but to Massimo, themes of environmentalism, man versus machine, and AI came to mind when creating the piece over 3 weeks.
I hope when people see this, they become more curious to learn about Catholic social teaching, Laudato Si.
In October of 2025, Schwarzenegger, who has been an outspoken advocate for safe environmental practices, introduced Pope Leo at Raising Hope for Climate Change, his first climate event as Pope at Castel Gandolfo.
But the reason why I call him an action hero is because as soon as he became the Pope, he ordered the Vatican to put solar panels on top of the buildings.
He said we need to terminate pollution.
Today, as the global church awaits Pope Leo's highly anticipated encyclical Magnificat Humanitas on AI, Massimo says the mural's reference becomes less niche.
I'm very much inspired by his call to kind of not lose sight that we're humans. We need to look eye to eye. We still need to interact with each other, live outside the digital realm.
And for those like bake shop customer Nitsa Cherry, who can see the connection, the message is powerful.
As a Catholic, I know that we love the earth. We're supposed to take care of it, take care of one another. I kind of do hope that people look at it and kind of be like, well, what is this? Because once you get it, you're like, wow, like that makes sense.
It will be here indefinitely, according to the artist, but Massimo's message is the planet won't unless we act. And his hope is when people look at this, they see the big picture. In Bushwick, Jessica Easthope, Currents News.
Pretty cool. Currents News is preparing to celebrate Pope Leo's first election anniversary. We have a special coming up this Friday, May 8th, highlighting all the Holy Father's achievements, starting from the moment he stepped out on the balcony of St. Peter's.
The world watched history unfold. For the first time, an American was elected, Pope Leo XIV.
La pace sia con tutti voi.
From first meeting the successor of St. Peter.
Who is Pope Leo XIV and what kind of shepherd will he be? The crowds here are happy he's the one. I'm Michelle Powers. That's next.
I'm Katie Vasquez and I'm with Diocese of Brooklyn in St. Peter's Square, and I have their first thoughts.
To a series of firsts, a new voice, a new papacy has begun to take shape.
You could see the missionary side of his personality. It's a new adventure for us.
Bells, the joy that still echoes around the world. Friday at 7 on Currents News. 1 year later, a look back at the Holy Father from Chicago and the path ahead.
An award-winning author visits students at a Queens Catholic academy to teach them how to speak out against injustice.
Do not give your power away to anyone.
International best-selling novelist Lisa Weimer stopped at Our Lady of Perpetual Help Catholic Academy in South Ozone Park on Thursday, May 7th, to demonstrate to the students the negative effects of judging someone with just a look. The academy is one of many schools she's visited in the Diocese of Brooklyn to talk about her book, The Assignment, a story based on a real-life event where students refused to take part in a debate about Hitler's final solution. Weimer says she hopes to reach each school throughout Brooklyn and Queens so every student can learn how to fight hate.
There was a sign that I saw that said in one of the schools that the future of the world is in these students' hands, or and I might be paraphrasing, but it literally, that's exactly what I believe. And so it truly is an honor to come back every single year and speak with these incredible, amazing students who every single day with their acts of kindness can have a profound impact and make this world so much better.
She does a very good job reinstituting moral values into children, especially young people across the globe in her work. I feel like she shows us what to do is right, and she really encourages us to stand up for what we believe is right, even when we are being put down for it.
Weimer's book has even been picked up for a movie. If you're interested in reading it before it comes to theaters, again, it's called The Assignment by Lisa Weimer, and you can find it on Amazon. A Brooklyn teacher got a top honors on May 7th. Teresa Hennigan, a fourth-grade teacher at Bay Ridge Catholic Academy, received special recognition from the New York State Senate on Thursday while the Brooklyn school was celebrating Teacher Appreciation Week. She got the Educator's Inspiring a Generation Award for her 18 years of teaching, which includes many years serving schools within the Diocese of Brooklyn. In addition to her success in the classroom, Mrs. Hennigan regularly volunteers to organize school assemblies and community building events that enhance school spirit and student engagement. She's also contributed to the cultural and creative life of the school by directing several performances for students in grades K through 4. Recently, Bishop Robert Brennan celebrated the leaders of tomorrow at an event. The Brooklyn Shepherd attending the annual gala for the Vicariate Office of Black Catholic Concerns Youth Leadership Program. The program was established more than 15 years ago to encourage young Black faithful in the diocese to serve as role models in their parishes and communities. In a message online, Bishop Brennan praised the young leaders, saying their service and commitment is a gift to the Diocese of Brooklyn. Finally tonight, Pope Leo XIV now has 28 new protectors. The Holy Father has sworn in 28 new recruits to the Swiss Guard, the smallest army in the world and the personal protection force of the successor of St. Peter. During the ceremony, they place their left hand on the flag and raise 3 fingers from their right hand, symbolizing the Holy Trinity. And each one in turn swears to serve the Pope and his successors with loyalty. And during Wednesday's ceremony, a nod to the first American Pope. Love it. Did you catch that? That's the Swiss Guard Band playing Neil Diamond's Sweet Caroline. They surprised the first American Pope with the popular American tune at the end of the ceremony. It was actually the second time Pope Leo got to hear some music from back home. Let's see if you can get this one. Amazing. Did you guess Dancing Queen by ABBA? Then you were correct. That was what played as Pope Leo greeted the crowd at his general audience on May 6th. The weekly talk by the pontiff is not a mass, so the band doesn't have to play the usual church songs. And I'm sure that crowd was dancing as they got to see the first American Pope. So fun. That is Currents News. I'm Christine Persichetti. Thank you for joining us because we are putting your faith in the news. Hope to see you again next time.